Hi, everybody. Thanks for being here this Friday. And if the weather had been nicer, I could have said, well, maybe you could have had someplace nicer to be. It's been a pretty dreary day. On top of a solid 3 inches of snowfall. That was too short lived. I mean, if it's going to snow, it might as well stick around long enough to enjoy it. But it was indeed short lived. The rain set in and erased most of it rather quickly. Not before causing a slew of auto accidents this morning, as heavy wet snow caused a lot of problems. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about your weather, possibly stormy tomorrow and a little sunshine thereafter. A few arrests that pass along tonight. Also, a structure fire that late last night destroyed the home and erased a life's work and worth of belongings for a local family. And we'll talk to their daughter tonight about what happened, how narrowly they escaped, and how it started. A lot of other news and information to pass along to you as well, and I'll have it one more time. But a reminder to set those clocks forward before you go to bed Saturday night or super early Sunday morning so you don't miss something besides that hour of sleep. So, a solid 3 inches of snowfall. We'll have an update in just a few moments and talk about the potential for some stormy weather on your Saturday. A mining accident in neighboring West Virginia tops headlines this Friday, the 8th day of March. A 38-year-old miner died. The West Virginia Office of Miners Health, Safety, and Training says that Adam DeBoard of Craigsville passed away after serious injuries after he fell from a high wall mine. It happened yesterday afternoon, sometime around 2 o'clock at the South Fork Coal Company Blue Knob surface mine that's in Greenbrier County, West Virginia. He was employed there as a loader or heavy equipment operator. As for the fall or how it happened, no other details were made, but it is the first coal mining fatality in the state of West Virginia this year. We have seen so far, still early on, and of course in 2019, 3 mining deaths for the year of 2019. One, of course, in our state here of Kentucky. Well, I think it was just earlier this week, I can recall reading some information about how scams have netted, I think it was about $6 billion from our elderly, and that was over a short period of time, over the course of a year or so, I think, nationwide, give or take the time or the amount. I'm very close to that fact, and pardon me for not being any more specific, but that's a good segue for where I'm going. Because following a warning to folks in the Commonwealth earlier this year about a surge in scams around tax time, Kentucky's Attorney General Andy Beshear says that there are again widespread reports of suspended Social Security number scams. So what they're doing and what we're hearing is that Kentucky residents have received a scam call, which appeared to be, the numbers showed up, appearing to be from the Social Security Administration, and the person on the other end of the line claimed that the victim's Social Security number had been suspended due to suspicious activity, and in order to use their Social Security number again, they had to verify it and some other personal information. Over the course of the past 6 months, the Attorney General's office has received about 2 dozen formal complaints of the exact same scam happening in counties all across eastern Kentucky, several. And similar reports are coming from other states as well, Georgia and Florida and Illinois, Michigan, Mississippi, Ohio. Beshear says that the scam is so widespread that the Federal Trade Commission issued an alert after more than 35,000 people reported the scam last year, with losses totaling more than $10 million. That same scam netted just $210,000 in 2017. So indeed, it is on the increase. And so are those calls that we all get numerous times a day, every single day. Car warranties, student loans that none of us have or have had. And Attorney General Andy Beshear today is urging the U.S. Senate to enact legislation to curb illegal scam phone calls and caller ID spoofing. Beshear joins 53 of the nation's attorneys general in sending a letter to the U.S. Senate Committee on Commerce, Science, and Transportation supporting the Telephone Robocall Abuse Criminal Enforcement and Deterrence Act. He says Kentuckians are just fed up, oh gosh we are, with the constant barrage of scam calls, and he's joining a bipartisan coalition of attorneys general from across the country to support the TRACED Act. This legislation would require voice service providers to participate in a call authentication framework to help block unwanted calls and to create an interagency working group to take additional actions to reduce scam calls and hold telemarketers and robocallers accountable. More than, listen to this, more than 48 billion robocalls were made last year, making them the #1 source of consumer complaints to the Federal Trade Commission and the FCC, resulting in who knows how many millions and millions of dollars in losses. Wasn't the segue that I had intended, but a Magoffin County family essentially lost everything they owned, but they escaped with the most important of things last night after a structure fire in the Gun Creek area of Magoffin County. As they lay sleeping shortly before midnight, smoke fortunately awoke one of the three living inside the home, and as a result, all three and their pets are still alive. I spoke with the daughter of Tex and Viola Fletcher earlier today, who was glad to report that they were all safe and sound, albeit without a home and a life's worth of work and possessions. Fire claimed the home and all of a family's lifelong belongings and possessions on Fletcher Branch off of Gun Creek last night, sometime before midnight, at the home of Tex and Viola Fletcher. Their daughter tells me earlier today in the following phone interview that if her brother Randy, who sadly and ironically lost his home to a fire a little more than a year ago, hadn't been staying with his parents, and if Randy hadn't woke up to the smell of the smoke, that Tabitha could very well have lost her family.
When Mom called me, she called me and told me that the house was on fire, and we went up there, and then she said if it wouldn't been for Randy, like smelling the smoke, then Mom and Dad would have burned up in the house because it went so quick and it was gone quick.
So quick that the Fletchers only made it out with what clothes they could get on their backs, their pets, fortunately, and obviously the most important of things, their lives and safety.
They didn't get to save nothing in the house, like personal items or nothing like that, but Mom did get her pets out. That's a good thing, but they just lost everything. They were 12-block train wreck. I mean, they worked all their life, and now they have nothing, and they didn't have insurance.
As for how the fire started, Tabitha tells me that when Randy woke up to the smoke, he got up and he saw that fire had already appeared to have spread from somewhere around the coal and wood stove that they used to heat the home, and it was already coming out from under the roof or ceiling, and that literally seconds later, as the three got their pets and themselves out of the burning structure, the roof was already starting to cave in.
I mean, we've lived in the house for 36 years and everything, but I'm just thankful, thank God that they come out alive, that nobody got hurt. We could have been making funeral arrangements.
And Tabitha asked that if anyone would like to offer any assistance to her family to please call. She can be reached at 367-5792. Her father, Tex Fletcher, can be reached at 606-496-7473. And if you need those phone numbers or any information related to the Fletchers, again, please call Your News Today or the Sagersville Independent. I'll be right back. Spring's here, well, at the seasonal shop with new arrivals in every department like women's mud pie and Charlie Page clothes, the perfect addition to your wardrobe. And Simply Southern is simply fully stocked, and they've got a lot of new items, new short sleeve tees, key rings, planners, caps, wallets, purses, and more. And speaking of more, Mary Square is at the shop. This beautiful line makes a perfect gift or a great way to brighten your day, featuring everything from Bible covers to notebooks to lanyards, badge holders, bottles, cups, and ID holders. And their home decor section is absolutely filled wall to wall with new arrivals, all to make your house the home you want it to be. All at Fraser's Prater Drugs seasonal shop.
If you've driven down the road, watched TV, or listened to the radio, you've seen or heard the ads for the Sign and Settle law firms. When I hear of someone settling their case for pennies on a dollar with these firms, it chills my soul. If you've been injured, it's all about the money. I'm Attorney Jeff Lovely. I represent injured people who deserve all the money they can get. Call me at my Sayersville office at 349-4522, West Liberty at 743-1965.
Ultra low carb and ultra tasty doesn't come together very often, but it has at your Sagersville Lee's with our new low carb plate. With tender all white breast strips oven roasted in our famous spices, our famous green beans, and our new ham seasoned cooked cabbage. And for a limited time, get $2 off with a coupon in this week's edition of the Sagersville Independent. That's right, save $2 and eat just about as many carbs at your Sagersville Lee's famous recipe. At Sagersville National Bank, they know your house is much more than your home. It's an investment, and for many of us, the biggest we'll ever make. And whether it's for needed repairs and maintenance, or a new addition or renovation to give you some more room and more equity, let Sagersville National Bank deal with all the financial work and worry. Real and real competitive, hometown, homegrown, home improvement loans at Sagersville National. It's a new day of deals every day at Parkway Gun and Pawn with an always new selection of like new musical instruments, power and hand tools, not to mention jewelry, games, guns and ammo, and popular hard-to-find electronics from Guitar Hero to amps to a pro-quality karaoke machine just in. It's all here today, gone tomorrow for pennies on the dollar at Parkway Gun and Pawn. The flu and flu-like illnesses are widespread in Kentucky, and they're not going away anytime soon. So odds are, if you aren't or haven't been sick, you likely will be. And Parkway Pharmacy has exactly what we all need to fight it and any other cold or illness. From immune boosters for adults and children as young as 2 to all-natural homeopathics made right here in the United States of America. They can help prevent you from getting sick or get you fast relief if you already are. With great tasting and easy-taking gummies, powdered mixes, rapid-melting fruity tablets, and syrups at Parkway Pharmacy. I can recall, and we all know how time quickly gets away from us. What feels like within the past year, let's just say for argument's sake, in the past 2 years, sitting here before you talking about how at that time crystal methamphetamine was just taking over and crippling our part of the world, and that we from that point forward, I was going to continue nightly to report each and every methamphetamine arrest to drive home the point of just how bad it was. Well, it's kind of like everything else that happens. The more often it happens, the more commonplace it becomes, and it's accepted or just realized that that's just how it is. Case in point, an arrest last night by the Sagersville Police Department, a possession of methamphetamine arrest for 2 individuals. While we are no longer reporting each and every one because simply that would be all this show comprised of. Case in point, I had to go back through the last 15 people jailed on drug-related charges in the Big Sandy Regional Detention Center today to find one that wasn't jailed on crystal meth. For example, Sagersville police officer Mike Nichols, per his arrest citation, stopped a vehicle driven by 34-year-old Brandy Yates of Sagersville on West Maple Street last night. The vehicle actually stopped shortly before 3 o'clock this morning for a traffic violation. Nichols notes that once he approached the vehicle, Yates appeared very nervous, and after he asked her to step out, she failed field sobriety test, and during a pat-down and search, he found a quantity of crystal methamphetamine in her small jeans or watch pocket, and a search of the vehicle also turned up 2 needles in the glove box, with the officer also taking into his possession some $2,300 in cash that she had on her person. She was taken to the Big Sandy Regional Detention Center on charges of possession of a controlled substance in the first degree for the methamphetamine, driving under the influence, and possession of drug paraphernalia, while her male passenger, Anthony Saylor of Sagersville, was arrested on a couple of outstanding bench warrants in his name, but when he reached the Big Sandy Regional Detention Center, and upon being searched before being lodged, they found a quantity of crystal methamphetamine under his clothes as well, after which we expect that he may be facing charges of promoting contraband and possibly possession of crystal methamphetamine. That 3 inches of snowfall quickly made travel treacherous during the overnight and early morning hours. Very early morning commutes saw a lot of issues, as did those after daybreak. Several inches of slushy white stuff caused some problems for several motorists. All in McGoffin County, we know of about 5 or 6 auto accidents that I'm about to report to you. Also one just before I sat down to do the program happening on the Mountain Parkway, which also appeared to be a non-injury accident, but one in which a vehicle left the roadway and was over in the creek. With that said, the Montgomery County Sheriff's Department and the Montgomery County Rescue Squad, EMS, and other personnel all responded to a significant number of accidents over the course of the morning and early afternoon, but I'm glad to report no significant injuries for the majority of them. The first one was this morning on 114, as, from what I understand, a physician who works at the Highlands Regional Medical Center was en route to Lexington, and her vehicle got into the slush on the side of the road, and that pulled her off of the road and over the embankment or ditch line, as you see there, into the grassy area. She was essentially pulled out, and the vehicle was still well enough to drive, and she didn't have any injuries and continued on her way. There was a couple of other accidents in between this one that you see here. One was on the Lark Arnott Hill on Route 30. Same situation there. A vehicle got into the slush and it went off the road and kind of got hung up on some steel drivings or steel pilings that had been driven in to keep the bank from slipping underneath the road. And the Sheriff's Department responded to at least a couple of other non-injury accidents before this one, the most serious of the day, which actually happened just across the Magoffin-Floyd County line on Route 114. The driver headed to Prestonsburg, were unsure of what caused the vehicle to go off the roadway, but the driver overcorrected upon trying to get control of the vehicle. The car went up onto the bank, then flipped onto its top, and came to rest as you see here. There was actually a truck driver, I'm told, that stopped and helped all the occupants inside out. I believe there was 3 or 4 inside. All refused medical treatment on the scene, but one older lady did go to the Highlands Regional Medical Center via ambulance for what was believed to be non-life-threatening injuries. The Middle Creek Fire Department and Kentucky State Police responded to the accident. With that said, here's tonight's Magoffin Farm Bureau Community Calendar, and it's another night and another birthday. First, I want to say thanks to everyone for all the birthday wishes. I know they're not all my birthday wishes, obviously, but we love putting birthdays on the show, and it just reminds us every night that everyone is watching Your News Today. With that said, this is a 10th birthday wish to Jalen Nichols. Jalen, I've got 2 or 3 phone calls, 2 or 3 messages from a whole lot of family and friends, your Mamaw Janet, and a host of others, all wanting me to wish you the happiest of 10th birthdays. So happy birthday to you. Happy 10th, Jalen Nichols. And going on to the rest of our Magoffin Farm Bureau community calendar, next week is the time to start thinking about getting those kids ready for school. Kindergarten registration starts Monday at the Sagersville Grade School. If you have any questions, call Sagersville Grade School at 349-3411. And kindergarten registration starts at North Magoffin Elementary next Monday as well. Come by and register. Don't forget, you'll need a lot of things: physical, other exams and immunization records, birth certificates, and more. And if you have any questions, call North Magoffin Elementary. But be sure to come by and register starting on Monday. And Head Start and Preschool pre-registration starts Monday of next week as well. Get your child a Head Start by calling the Magoffin County Head Start Program, 349-3488. And this announcement comes as a reminder that they have gotten all of the work done to clean up after the flooding, and the Bloomington United Baptist Church will be having services this Sunday at their regular time. And this invitation comes to you from Pastor Grant Cantrell and everyone at Bloomington United Baptist. And I've got one more invitation for you, and that's to put your calendar announcement, birthdays and anniversaries too, on Your News Today anytime you have one. Simply phone, fax, email, Facebook, drop them off here at the station. Any way you can tell me, I'll tell everyone else. Turning to tonight's funeral services, 40-year-old Drusilla Compton of Winchester, Kentucky, passed away earlier this week. She was the wife of Charles Compton, who survives. I'm told that arrangements are incomplete at this time, but they will be handled here locally by the Magoffin County Funeral Home. Once again, arrangements incomplete for 40-year-old Drusilla Compton of Winchester. Colorectal cancer is the number 2 leading cancer death in the U.S., with 90% of new cases in people 50 or older. And while people with family histories have 2 to 3 times greater probability of getting colorectal cancer, 80% of the new cases are in people without a family history. And Hope Family Medical Center wants to remind you that they're here with simple, easy, at-home, fit testing so you can get the reassurance you need if you're over 50 or have a family history of colorectal cancer or just want to be sure. It's another way that Hope Family Medical Center wants you to be healthy. Call or come in today. From brakes, exhaust, suspension, fluid changes, to expert collision and auto body, to turning your 4x4 or diesel from mild to wild, get real auto maintenance, paint, and repair at Black Smoke Performance in Dixie of Sagersville. 349-8785.
SSI and disability cases are harder to win these days. You need all the help you can get. If the government has turned you down, I will not. Many factors are considered when a claim is being processed, like your age, education, physical, and mental disabling conditions. When it comes time to winning your disability case, you should not face a federal judge alone. You need an attorney who is experienced, determined, hardworking, knowledgeable, and dedicated to helping you win benefits that you deserve. If you need help with your SSI or disability case, call me, Donald Wayne McFarland, and let me go to work for you.
What happens when you combine the region's best network with a plan that requires no money down on the phone you choose, but also allows you to upgrade to the latest and greatest phone quicker? You get the Appalachian Advantage. Get any device for $0 down and upgrade your smartphone once half your device payments are made. With a qualifying trade-in, choose a device payment plan, 6, 12, 18, 24, or 36 months. We'll leave that decision to you. Just another way Appalachian Wireless proves better service and bigger savings. That's today's Appalachian Wireless. Phone payment plan required. See store for details. Advantage requires no money down. Taxes due at time of sale.
It's tax time, and that means it's time to cut prices at Gateway Motors. Check out this gorgeous 2013 F-150 Crew Cab. Books for over $17,000. Their price $14,900. This 09 one-ton E350 van has got only 119,000 miles on it. They've got it priced at $7,900. It books for over $10,000. Come make them an offer. This 09 Chrysler 300's got leather, nav, heated seats, and more. $4,900. And this 06 Ford Explorer is in great shape. Only 84,000 miles, new tires and more, while they last at Gateway Motors in Sagersville. Check out what's sizzling hot this week at your Sagersville Save-A-Lot. Your choice of Boston butt steaks or country-style ribs in family packs for $129 a pound. And boneless beef ribeyes are on sale for just $5.49 a pound. Pepsi products, 6 packs of bottles, 4 for $10. And big 28-count multi-packs of Frito-Lay chips, $8.99. Cabbage is just 59 cents a head, and gorgeous rainbow peppers are just $2.99 a pound. But you better hurry. These prices are good only through Tuesday, March the 12th at your Sagersville Save-A-Lot, and be sure and visit their new website at savergroup.com. Don't drive or let your family drive in this or this before doing this. Stopping at Conley Tire in Staffordsville for brakes, oil, alignment, and of course, tires. Thousands of tires in stock every day to fit anything with 6 months no interest financing and over 33 years of quality service with a smile. Conley Tire in Staffordsville. The 11 o'clock show did not air on Foothills last night for a recording glitch that they tell me they have since fixed. So I want to cover as much of a segment as time will allow tonight that I showed you last evening for those who may not have seen it, because it's a very important topic and subject. The Special Olympics chapter of Magoffin County is about to be reborn after a long hiatus. And I had 2 ladies with me last night who are going to be with us again tonight wearing the same clothes, mind you. Miss Tanya Ward, our circuit clerk, and Rebecca Allen, our Magoffin County PVA, taking part of their own personal time to be a part of the Special Olympics of Magoffin County. And they told us about how well it's gone, about the number of volunteers, the number of athletes that they have thus far, and how they're still hoping to see more between now and their first practice next Thursday.
We are so excited to announce that Magoffin County is going to have a Special Olympics team this year. You can participate in many different sports, but we're going to start this year with track and field.
To be a participant on our team, you have to be 8 years of age, and there's no cap on the age limit, so you can be anywhere from age 8 to 108, and we would be glad to have you on our team. You just have to have some type of intellectual disability, such as Down syndrome, autism, ADHD, any type of learning disability where you're being treated maybe in school, or participate in activities in the community, such as the Adult Daycare Center, Carl D. Perkins Center, things like that. We would be so glad to have you. Our first meeting will be on
1 week from today, March 14th.
March 14th, yes.
At Magoffin County High School up at the track, and it begins at 4:30. So make sure that you go online and you get your registration materials. There's an athlete registration form. There's also a physical that must be turned in just like any other athlete. So you'll have to have those items to turn into us 1 week from today, which will be on Thursday.
There are already 7,000 athletes in the Special Olympics Organization of Kentucky. There are 15 Olympic-style sports that are offered and over 120 competitions on the area, regional, and state level, and there are 4,000 volunteers helping all of that happen. And if you'd like to become a part of the Magoffin County Special Olympics team, be there next Thursday, and they'll practice on Thursdays at 4:30 until the first event in April.
The actual event, Special Olympics event, will be on April 27th, and we will take our team from here, Magoffin County, to Johnson County to participate. If you want to be a volunteer, you just fill out this volunteer application. You can go online and get it, or stop by my office or Tanya's office, and we'll have these readily available. I am brand new at this. Tanya's done this for several years, and we're just really excited and pumped, and hope to see a lot of our Magoffin County people there.
We hope everybody will come out next week, 1 week from today, which will be March the 14th, 4:30, Magoffin County High School track. So we hope that you'll be there. Thank you so much.
Magoffin County had a Special Olympics chapter several years ago, and now there's a lot of renewed enthusiasm to pick it up again. So if you or the athlete in your house wants to be a part of the team, they can simply go by the Magoffin County PVA office of Becky Allen or the Circuit Clerk's office of Tanya Ward, or go online to SOKY.org, which stands for Special Olympics of Kentucky.org. And you or they will be ready for the first practice again on April the 27th. So that's going to leave me with nothing else but to say goodnight after we say what's coming up in your Licking Valley RECC forecast. The snow is over. The rain quickly erased it for the most part. There's still a few lingering spots of white stuff there behind me on the view over downtown Sagersville. But it's going to be a wet one and a warm one tomorrow, so that will quickly erase the 3 inches of snowfall that we did see. Will it be our last significant snowfall of the year, the first and only real significant one? Well, we'll have to wait and see. But tomorrow you can most certainly expect to see some warm conditions into the 60s, showers, and maybe some storms that could develop. That of which you will have to keep your eye on, because the certainty of which is still just not there. But with that said, we're also looking at a 70-degree day and then some next week. First, be sure to remember to spring those clocks forward an hour before you go to bed Saturday night or extra early on Sunday morning, or you might miss something. Well, you're definitely going to miss an hour's worth of sleep, but that's not the point. The point is it's going to be brighter longer, and that's going to be nice. Spring will be here, hopefully, before we know it. But let's talk about tonight's forecast and for the next few days. With a low of 37 tonight, cloudy skies, a 30% chance of some lingering rain. That's going to wrap it up before too awfully long tonight. But then another chance of showers with another system that we've been talking about now for days for tomorrow. This one brings showers and possibly thunderstorms after 3. Temperatures getting close to the 60-degree mark. Maybe up to a half inch of rain tomorrow. Another half inch possible tomorrow night for maybe up to a total inch. Southwesterly winds are going to start to increase, and we'll see those from 9 to 23 miles per hour. And that's not including the thunderstorms that we may see develop on your Saturday. So a bit of a bumpy road for the first half of your weekend. But those showers should pull out of here by 7 or 8 o'clock Sunday morning, and then slowly but surely, mostly sunny skies will prevail, I'm so glad to say, in the mid-60s. It's going to be a nice latter half to your weekend. I hope you find some way to enjoy it. It's still going to be breezy with winds out of the west-southwest, anywhere from 10 to 20 miles per hour, but it's going to be sunny and relatively warm and mild. No, relatively to it. It's going to be 65 degrees. Sunday night, 38 for your low. We'll start off next week mostly sunny and 57. Clear skies Monday night and 24. Mostly sunny Tuesday and 52. Some clouds Tuesday night and a low of 31. Cloudy still on your Wednesday and 67 degrees. And check this out. Wednesday night, 53. A 50% chance of showers. And you got to pay to play, so to speak. We're going to see possibly the 70s on Thursday. 73 degrees is in your forecast, but a likelihood of showers that comes along with it. And that's going to wrap it up for this evening, for this week as well. Thank you for being a part of the program. We hope you have a wonderful, safe weekend, and keep your eye on that weather tomorrow. It could be a bit bumpy at times, and we hope to see you back here next Monday, starting off another edition of Your News Today.